What's up, everybody? Steph Martinez here, Nick Gambaro there. You already know. You know who we are. We might not know who you are, but you know who we are. Took off the great Robert De Niro. But
Yes.
Big Dog, man, how you doing? Super crazy show today. Listen,
Yes.
I know we said an hour and a half yesterday. We're gonna try for the hour and a half, but we
I
both
got a
got
feeling it may go a little longer because
news, we got tons of news, we got good information, we got
the
everything
top
in
five today we got. I mean,
NFC South preview.
what's in every sport, there's trades going on. There's big news, players wanting to leave their teams. Oh my God. You're working the phones. I've been jotting down notes for hours now, and
there you go.
Lord.
All right, so No Nag. What up, No Nag? How are you, man?
What's up?
Let's start this. Let's start this with, and it looks like it's about to pour monsoon like at City Field.
Wow,
So,
look at those clouds. Yeah.
mm,
Better off for the Mets. We got to regroup.
Here's the thing, okay? We don't usually start with soccer, but today we're starting with soccer, and I got two questions out the gate.
Go ahead.
Why and how the hell is Messi leaving Barcelona?
Right.
That's
So
one.
listen, there's a lot going on, but listen, soccer is the world's game. And when you hear Lionel Messi wanting to leave Barcelona, you know that's big. And there has been now, of course, a coaching change after the season. After they didn't win La Liga this year, they lost 8-2 in the Champions League to Bayern Munich. Not great. And the past few years, they haven't really played up to their potential, unlike a few years ago. Because I was telling you some of the background. Last year too, losing on aggregate, giving up a 4-0 lead to Liverpool, and being eliminated from the Champions League, and a lot of drama in the front office and with the managers. So there's been a lot of drama and no success. So in my mind, I think that's why Messi wants out and he wants a fresh start. And
right,
you say it in any sport, because sometimes we go, this guy can't leave. He'll never leave. Listen, and I always go back to it, not besides even being a hockey fan. If Wayne Gretzky could get traded, if anything could happen. If a star player wants to leave, look at Tom Brady, right? We'd never thought he'd leave New England, but he chose to leave.
There you go.
Start and new team, whatever. So
there you go.
It happens.
Mm-hmm. What necessitated this? What do you brought this on? Do you think that they wanted to build, or that he knew, okay, I can't win this particular group, or
yeah?
What do you
think he notices that Barcelona is now kind of in a reboot mode, rebuild, whatever word you want to use. They don't have the studded star power or even support. Because listen, they do have star power, but I always believed, and I said this to you, I phrased it like this: they had a support system around Messi. It wasn't a couple of superstars. It was a whole team. When they were winning Champions Leagues over and over, and La Ligas every year, and Copa del Reyes, which is the Spanish Cup.
right.
And they always had, and I know we're going to get to this in a minute, in terms of what clubs he may go to, but Pep Guardiola, and he worked well under him when he was the manager at Barcelona. He's not there anymore, so I think that's another big problem. So yeah, it's
here's the thing. Here's what it feels like. It feels like both sides know that things have ran its course. We know it's time to regroup. Been 16 years. Let's reshuffle the deck. You want out, and we're rebuilding. Let's do what's best for boys and get the getting's good. We won a lot together. We've experienced a lot together. Now it's time on, and do something different. So that's my feeling on it. My feeling is, you know what, is, both teams are both parties realize it's time to move on. And this is what this feels like to me. Now, I had read something on Plus, because I was reading an article on Plus about how, Man U is very interested in him. Man U has a lot of interest to get him there to sign with them. Now, I'll phrase this question in this way. Do you think Man U is the clubhouse? Is it U's bidding to lose?
Now, it's funny you say that, and I'll go through what What's up, Dougie? Yes, yes, yes. We were wondering where you were last night. Yeah, big win, big 4-0 win, but it's only one game, so I'm not trying to get too ahead of myself. One game at a time, but listen, great spot. We're going to get into that a little bit later on.
Right.
But I made a list of 4 clubs that I could possibly see him going to, and I basically did it in terms of who's the manager, where are they going to be in terms of Champions League. All these clubs are going to be in it next year, because I think that's what Messi wants as well, and the players, that matters. I'll jump to Man U since you mentioned them first. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who not very experienced manager, has mixed reviews so far, and played for Man U way back in his glory days with Man U back in the 90s, early 2000s, but he's finally coming into his own, I think, now, and the players are starting to trust and believe in the system. That's a good one, Dougie. And so I think the players are believing in him and going, all right, this guy at first, we kind of weren't sure, but you know what? We like where the club's going. Listen, they ended up finishing in 3rd place, which nobody at the start thought, because they were not even close to top 4. But they're in the Champions League, and they have players like Pogba, Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, Jesse Lingard, and others. Wow, that's a horrible. Losing 5-0. Oh no.
Trouble.
But I think it's a younger team. Whereas, and now back to the Man City point, because Man United's number 2 on my list, and then Man City is 1 because of Pep Guardiola. He knows him, has had success and experience with him. They're going to be in the Champions League also like Man U, but remember, they were going to be revoked. They weren't going to be allowed in the Champions League. That got changed. And Sergio Aguero, they're both teammates with the Argentinian national team. Nicolas Otamendi, Riyad Mahrez, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Raheem Sterling, etc. They got stars all over the pitch. PSG was thrown out there, but I just can't see it. Sure, they're going to be in the Champions League. They're a big team in Europe, big spending club, and some stars, but I don't know. I don't see it for Messi. I can only see a Premier League club or maybe a Serie A club, which is the Italian.
I want to go back to something real quick.
Go ahead.
I want to go back to something. I don't mean to belabor the point, but there has to be something that we went not privy to, because we do this all the time in sports.
We'll get there, doggy.
I tell you this all the time in sports when I'm things, and there's always some backroom argument somewhere. Somebody said something that he didn't like, or he just realized the club doesn't want to put money into the product as much anymore, or we're in the middle of a pandemic, so the spend a little different. Whatever it may be, something went on that we're not privy to. And the thing that I'm curious about it, the thing that I'm focused on, fascinated by is the better word. Thank you. I had to get it out. Is how a relationship like that, where they tons of money together, where both sides know, listen, legacies together. It's hard for us to walk away from each other, what we meant to each other and to the game as a whole.
Yes.
Because the new soccer sport, I think that the different connotation needs to be attached to
He's been there
soccer.
since 2004. But that's a long time to be with a club.
That's what I'm saying. So unless they knew, both sides knew, okay, this wasn't going to work out, okay. But this is the thing that I'm fascinated with, Big Dog, and let me know if I'm off base in my thought process here. But do you think it's that Barcelona released a statement and now Messi has not released a statement publicly? All we know is that he wants out. Do you think the relationship got frayed at some point where Barcelona's like, get out ahead of this before his agents and stuff start coming out and say they won't release us, they won't let us out, they won't give us a chance, they won't. Do you think something happened on both sides, or you think it's just a matter of, having to move on because both sides know that winning with
I
each other
think
is not
something
likely?
possibly happened. I'm sorry. I just think something happened behind the scenes, and I also feel that it's also that, like, again, 2004, you can even go back to 2003. He started with the Barcelona youth teams. Like, he's been there for years.
Right.
And, sometimes you just want to change. But again, there has been rumblings behind the scenes, and, coach is not really staying there quite long after Pep Guardiola left for Man City. So ever since Pep left, it's kind of been, the club's been in disarray a little bit.
Okay.
And then
I was just curious because it didn't seem like the fact that there was no statement put out on both sides had me a little bit like, hold on a minute now. Is there something going on that we're not aware of? Because if there is, not that I'm looking for any drama, but
and it's crazy though. 33 titles with Barcelona. That's including La Liga, Copa del Rey, the Supercopa de España, or the Spanish Super Cup. The UEFA Champions League. I mean, this guy has won everything. What's up, Alan? We're talking soccer right now. Messi, what do you think of Messi wanting to leave Barcelona this summer? We're curious what you guys think.
yes.
That's a lot of it. It's kind of like a Brady thing. Like, look at all the chips he's won. He's been there forever.
Mm-hmm.
But times are changing. Also, one tweet by Rio Ferdinand, former Man U defender, now in the media there in the UK, who covers the sport.
Right.
He said, quote, just heard Frank Lampard is now in for hashtag Messi. Some window this is if Lamps pulls this off. Again, him and, Lampard have gone to battle many times on, Man U versus Chelsea over the years.
So what do you think? What do you think that means?
I think Lampard wants to go for it all. I don't know if he's going to take it easy. I think he's tired. Maybe he's tired of Barcelona. That's what I feel.
Here's my thing. Okay, it comes upon, and I hate when they do the athletes, but I gotta ask: do you feel from a soccer standpoint, Big Dog? I'm not talking about business and transactions and all the things that I enjoy talking about from a journalistic perspective. But just watching him with your own eyes, because we both know you watch way more soccer than I ever will in my entire life. Do you think he's on the back nine? Do you think he's lost a step? Do you think he's not the same player?
No.
Do you see a downturn at some point?
No, just even coming back from the pandemic, one of the goals he scored in the Champions League. I mean, vintage Messi from when he was in his 20s. I mean, I don't know. No way. He's definitely could still play. You know, and even Ronaldo, man, he's getting to his upper 30s, but he could still ball out. He could still play. So
Right.
I don't think Messi is too old at all. And it's not like he's going to MLS to retire. I can't see that. He wants to be in a top league with a top club. He only had he's got more than that, Alan.
If he's 33, the way he's skilled and the way he plays, from what you're saying, I'll put it at 38. 39.
And you can have your own opinion. In my opinion as a soccer fan and just highlights I see of him, games I watch.
Yeah, the guy is absurd.
Yeah,
I watch highlights on SportsCenter. I'm like, yo, fam.
And when he plays for Argentina, the guy tries to carry the team because they don't put enough of the pieces around him.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, unless if he retires in the MLS retirement league. You know
what we call the nursing home rocking chair for old soccer veterans.
Maybe he'll go to Inter Miami, David Beckham's club, or he'll go to LAFC. I could see that maybe down the road, but no.
But he got too much pride though. I mean,
and listen, I'm not trying to knock MLS, but I hate to say it because I want to try and get more into it as an American soccer fan, but that's the way it's been the past few years, but hopefully they can deviate away from that. But you've seen it. Frank Lampard and Andrea Pirlo, who's actually now the manager at Juventus. Italian superstar player. But that quote from Rio Ferdinand was, and obviously he has connections, former player for Man U and being in the media. But they have a lot of young up-and-coming players. They have some veterans on the team. Christian Pulisic, American superstar. So
that kid, I see highlight. Yeah, he scored a bicycle kick goal recently. The man did the I'm like, I'm out. Middle of the pitch bicycle.
Go ahead.
Middle of the pitch bicycle kick. Yeah, it's good.
If Pulisic and Messi oh my God. I mean, that would be something.
By the way, look at that top. Is that not emblematic of the Mets season? Look at the top. The top don't even want to be on the field.
Wow, and that's in Flushing. It's sunny here where I am. I'm sure the rain will come any minute, but
look at the top. The top's like, I don't even want to be on this field.
Yeah. Typical Mets, you know.
Oh. But
this is such a fascinating topic, and we'll definitely have more of it if more comes out, if statements come out from the club and him.
Right. Which is what I'm waiting on. I got to be honest. I want a statement from him. Let me know what happened. How did this go down? Who pissed who off? Because something went down that we're not privy to. Because, bro, you can't tell me after all the winning they've done and all the success they've had and everything they've experienced together that it's just going to end like that. You can't tell me that.
I mean, and I'm not going to go through the whole list, but just to make, 10 La Liga titles, 4 Champions League titles, 6 Copa del Rey, 7 Supercopa de Españas. I mean, 3 FIFA Club World Cup titles. I mean,
point is, without you going through that entire diatribe.
Yeah, no, I'm not, but we'll be here all day, but
he wins. He wins. The point is, he wins.
All I do is win. That's him. All he does is win, no matter what.
Maybe it's time to, I said that at the show, Emilio. I agree. Maybe it is time to move on, but when you get a breakup like this, where there was so much success, and maybe it is time to move on.
A lot of success.
Maybe I'm reading into it a little because I usually don't see things like soccer where it's sided, usually two-sided statement where both parties are like,
right. But again, I want to, of course, keep this soccer, this segment all soccer, but we both like to defer, I should say, to other sports. because this is a very MLS needs to get more compatible and a regulation and derelegation with the NSL. I agree, absolutely, Alan. I don't think there should be playoffs. Give teams more incentive, but yeah, it would be more competitive. I mean, some teams are fun to watch. I really like to watch the Western teams, like the LA teams, Portland. They're fun to watch. Some of the Eastern teams, it's just hard. It's hard to get into. But I try definitely and watch here and there. But again, it's really, like Brady, right? Like if he doesn't really like how the roster's built, and there's been rumors, again, we don't know for sure, but Bill doesn't like him. You don't like Bill, this and that. There could be rumblings behind the scenes. Maybe that was a reason he left New England.
I can almost guarantee you that's why he left New England, because Bill wasn't going to – listen, the only reason why they kept him as long as they did is because Robert Kraft was like, hold on, wait a minute.
It's his adopted son.
Wait a minute. You ain't just going to get rid of it. No. We got to have a conversation about this because he's helped me win 6 chips. I ain't next. But at the same time, they're showing reruns of 15.
Yo, I'm going to stop crying.
I'm really fascinated by this in sports because it's not always the beginning, but it's usually the end where you realize, that's what it was. That's what did it.
Yes.
That's what did it. So I'm very in tune to, okay, what could be causing all this? As they used to say, what's causing all this? Why is everybody so antsy? But before we move on, I just want to say that I can't wait to see what happens here, just from a sports perspective, because I want to see where he goes. I want to see what his next chapter is like. I want to know if he thought that they thought that he was done. And he's just playing to prove a point. Like, I still got some juice left in the tank. You thought I was finished? Okay, watch this. So, because I get that vibe too, kind of. With no statement, it feels kind of, oh, you thought I was finished? Okay, watch this. But, you have any any final thoughts on this before we move on? And
that's it. I'm just intrigued, just as you are, and as a soccer fan especially, I'm dying to know where he's going to go. I'm very, very interested. Because it's always been a rumor, will Messi leave? And nobody in the soccer world would ever think that he would want to leave.
And here we are.
Yup.
As the great Hawk Harrelson once said, he gone. He gone. Oh man, he gone. So you want to get into football now? You want to get into baseball now? What are we doing?
Whatever. Let's do football. Let's do a little football here.
Football, baby. Can't say it. Friggin' football. That's the substitute.
Yeah, because we can't say the other word.
All right. I'll say this. I gotta get this off my chest, off the top. I gotta say it. Can we stop with both teams? Both the Jets and Giants with this David Ngakoue garbage. Okay? Can we stop with this? Can we stop with this? You know what you sound like? You sound some like money-hungry schoolgirls that get left out of the cool kids table. Can we move on?
Both teams stink. There's no purpose of either one of them getting this guy. It just makes no sense. Doesn't.
So you're going to get David Ngakoue, right? Right? You're going to get him. He's going to play 10, 11, 12 games for you. What are you going to finish? 6 and 10 instead of 4 and 12? Really? Come on, guys. And you know Jacksonville ain't gonna trade him for cheap. You know that. Listen, I'm sorry. I'm trying here.
Come on, say
But
it.
this is why sports talk radio sucks in New York. And this is why we're doing this show. Because they focus on, well, what if? Well, what if? Well, what if? That's fine if the team was good enough so the what if can actually make an
If I
impact.
was a radio host, like I wouldn't even entertain those calls. But I know they got to do it, and they got to go, like you said, through the what ifs.
Alex, I'm not gonna, but all right. I'm sick of it. This is why you ask me, why don't you listen to New York radio? Why don't you enjoy it? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I don't enjoy it because it's all speculative. Mark, can you turn the light on? It's all speculative from this standpoint. It's never okay, this is what it is. This is what we know. Instead of not this is what we think, this is what we know. Okay? And the Ngakwe thing to me just still feels very speculatory. There's no hard evidence that either GM would do this.
Right. But you know, in New York, I'm sorry to cut but you know, with the fans, there's always this expectation that the Jets and Giants, even other teams in other sports, they gotta win. We gotta improve. Listen, and I will admit it, I'm not the most patient person, depending on what it is. But sports, listen, I'm a Jet fan, okay? It's very frustrating, right? But I've come to realize the older I get, you know what? So if we stink another year, who cares? If you're, listen, the job Joe Douglas is doing right now, I love it. Worry about protecting Sam, because that's the most important thing. You don't want him to get killed out there. And that's what you got to rebuild right now.
Right.
Same with the Giants. If you're a Giant fan, you got to be patient. And I believe they're going to end up having a really good future. The Jets, too, hopefully will. But you got to stay patient. It can't always be, we got to win. We got to win. You know it as a Knicks fan. Knicks fans are the same. Can we get Durant? Can we get Giannis? Can we get
Irving? Can we get this one? Can you get that one?
Can we?
Listen.
Met fans, too, do it.
But doesn't that show you something? Doesn't it snap into your head eventually that New York fans are not as smart as they think they are? And this is not a shot at the fan bases. This is just us looking at it from 30,000 feet going, yo, we get set up for disappointment every single year. Oh, we go into the season, yo, maybe we can finish 7-9, or maybe we be 8-8, and you grab the last wild card spot.
Tell me. Yeah, and protect Daniel Jones too. You don't want him getting killed.
Exactly. Right.
So,
right.
If you get him, you got to build up that old line for Jones too.
And here's the frustrating thing. I don't think many people understand that winning doesn't happen in a vacuum. Winning takes time. It's not easy to just say, "Oh, snap our fingers and we're going to win tomorrow."
Can't happen.
Especially for organizations that haven't done it. So this is the whole thing with the Ngakwe thing, and I swear we're moving on because I didn't want to make this.
One more thing. I'm sorry. I don't mean to keep it Jets Giants centric. I just want to ask you this, and the viewers. I want their response as well. But make your Ngakwe point, and then I'll ask my question. Then we'll move on.
The thing about the Ngakwe thing is, yes, he's a great player. I've seen highlights of the guy. The guy is a beast. But what hole does he stop up in your defense where another hole isn't created?
Exactly.
I mean, what does it do? That's like whistling in a graveyard going, we're going to suck, but look at this shiny new toy we got. Oh, it's like, I'm trying to lose weight, but I'm gonna have a whole bunch of like candy and cake. It's counterproductive. It doesn't make sense. But ask your question before we move on.
Do you think, and do the viewers out there think, that this is a make or break year for Sam Darnold? Now, there's two sides to this. If he does poorly, are you going to say, well, he didn't have enough receivers, he didn't have enough weapons, or the O-line didn't protect him? Now, I believe
Right.
But again, if they don't, then are you going to use that as an excuse? Or the flip side that Chris Collin and Peter Rosenberg were talking about today on the K Show was, like, he's got to show me something. Like, if he's being compared to all these other young quarterbacks in the league, like, he's got to prove something this year, or else there's a question at quarterback for the New York Jets.
Right.
Which side are you and the viewers on? Because I'll be on, like, I'm conflicted. Like, I was normally on the side of, all right, like, still give him a break. It's only year 3. But at the same time, times kind of, you may have questions. If he's fully healthy and doesn't produce this year, I think the Jets may have some questions. I'm not sure. What do you think? Outside looking in.
I disagree with you on all that. Okay? This is not a make or break year for him. This is a make or break year for the organization above him. Because you can't tell me it's a make or break year for the quarterback when you ain't give the quarterback no help. What help does he have? You could say stay healthy. Cool. But is he going to stay healthy with a line that we don't know can protect him or not? I'm not sure.
Right.
Is he going to be able to throw to? Is he going to be able to throw to competent wide receivers? We don't know. We're not sure. So this right here, this is not on Sam Darnold. You can't say none of this is on Sam Darnold until you get Sam Darnold some talent.
It's got to be a terrible feeling for the kid, like to have, and that's what they were emphasizing today. That I don't like when they're like, the whole team's on Darnold, the city's on Darnold. You can't put that all on one guy.
That's irresponsible. To even point out that narrative is irresponsible. Because what about the 7 other guys that are on the field with him? What about the 11 the other guys that are on defense? This is a team. You can't sit there and tell me this. That makes no sense. So if he fails because the team around him isn't good, is it still his fault? I mean, really? I mean, come on. Like, and then I said it the night they drafted him, and I'm sorry I go back to this point, but it's like the dude was screwed from the jump. He was screwed.
And it's so true.
From all the unfair expectations, he was screwed from the jump. Because you automatically said, oh, can this be the next Broadway Joe? Can this be the next, oh my God, can he be the savior? Are you kidding me? Let the kid put on his jersey first. Let him find the parking lot.
The proverbial fur coat on him, like you said, to crown him the next Joe Namath. Like, you can't do that.
And then they wonder why it all goes to the crapper in year 3, and the head coach is dysfunctional.
And then they wonder why. Radio interview, that's what, oh man, was so excited. Like the Jet fans, like, and I love Alan Hahn. He's like, we're looking forward to this, man. We haven't had a guy since Joe Willie. We want you to be our guy. And he's laughing, nervous. Right, because what's he going to say? And now he's probably thinking, oh, my God, like, these people really expect.
What the hell am I walking into?
Right, exactly.
Right.
100%.
All right, we could be here all day with this garbage.
So let's move on, because then
we're moving on. All right, NFC South.
Yes. You go first. You go first.
And nobody messing with Tampa. I'm sorry. I mean,
I agree.
For all the talk of New Orleans and Drew Brees and a redemption year, and then nah. GOAT 12 is still human. GOAT 12. He's not TB 12. He's now GOAT 12. You know what GOAT 12 means? GOAT 12 is still roaming around, making people look foolish. Nah. Till he says no more, then nah. Nah. I'm saying to you right now, listen, you can give me New Orleans, that's cute. I, ain't nobody in the NFC South doing anything to these boys. I don't even want to. Nah, nah. Somebody get Nick some ribs.
I'm gonna emotionally eat soon.
How are we playing this? How are you playing this in the NFC South? I know you got Tampa above everybody else, but where does everybody slide down besides New Orleans, and then
I got
go from there?
the Buccaneers at 14-2. They're gonna obliterate most of the teams. Saints 9-7, Panthers 7-9, and Falcons 2-14. I don't see much from them. And maybe I was being a little too nice to the Panthers because then looking at their roster, I'm like, eh.
Besides Christian McCaffrey, who's gonna get the ball?
Right. And Teddy Bridgewater, that's a nice signing, but yeah, exactly.
Right.
You know, they lost Cam, Luke Kuechly, and Greg Olsen, like you mentioned. They signed McCaffrey to an extension, but all right, that's nice. But Tampa, OJ Howard, Chris Godwin, Gronk, they brought in. And the Saints, like you said. I'm sorry, and people I think are gonna bash me for this, but Saints overrated. Sorry, I'm gonna come out and say it. Saints overrated every year. Drew Brees is awesome.
Did we lose Big Dog? I think we might have lost Big Dog. If you're there, I think we might have lost him. So let me try and get him back, and let me see what happened here. But I'm still here. I'm not going nowhere. But I agree with him before we lost him. I don't see the Saints being a legitimate legitimate contender for Brady's title, just because you look at the weapons Brady has. And you see how how everything changed, and you wonder if you know, you wonder how it affects things, and you wonder how um, this losing Brady affects things. Hold on 1 second. That's him calling me. Hold on. Yo. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Did you just lose power?
Yes, that's why.
I kind of figured that. Once I saw your lights go out, I'm like, he lost power, but all right. Everybody good though? Like your grandpa, everybody all right? All right, you want me to re-invite you again?
Yeah, but my internet's plugging out right now. I can't really get on.
Oh, all right.
Maybe wait a little bit. All right. Has the chat box next to it? Let me go to my email.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah. That was such a good show.
All right. I got you. I'm gonna invite you now. Hold up.
All right.
All right, bud. All right. Hold on, guys. I gotta re-invite Nick, and because he lost power at his house, so let's re-invite him really quickly while I'm here. Send him this invite a minute. It's live, folks, and when it's live, sometimes you get some unexpected occurrences. So just bear with us. Big Dog is gonna try and hop back on and finish up, you know, what we were talking about. But yeah, we were just getting rolling too. But I agree. I think Tampa wins this division going away. I don't necessarily think hey, I don't necessarily think um Tampa struggles with this division. We got
I'm back, folks. I'm back. Lost power and internet connection here, but we're back.
Hey, when you're doing live, baby, it's as live gets. We lose power. Yeah. But all right. So now that I was just saying, I agree with you on the Tampa point. I don't think anybody is good enough to contend with Tampa. And I'm talking about in that division. I'm not talking about in the NFC period. I'm just talking about the NFC South. 2-14 from Atlanta, that feels legitimate.
Right.
That feels legitimate because they are really bad. Matt Ryan's old. And as far as everybody else, like Carolina, you said 9-7. Damn, you're being nice because
No,
I got them at like
7-9.
7-9. That's more like 4-12.
Yeah.
Okay, because yeah. Outside of Christian McCaffrey, who's getting the ball? So I just think that this division is probably going to be the least competitive division in the NFL if everything plays out according to plan on paper. Now, when you get between the lines, it can be a little different. You can get some shockers and some surprise teams that we're not really aware of. But on paper, this feels like Tampa's going to annihilate everybody in their path on the way to at least the NFC Championship game.
Yes.
Adam Gase is a joke. We agree with you. We agree with you there. It's I don't know. It's an interesting dichotomy that you see in football, like because everything we once think about football during the beginning of the year usually doesn't stay the same at the end of the year. So I'm curious to see what changes may happen depending on Brady's health, number one, because he is getting older. Number two, is Bruce Arians going to give him enough, leeway to beat Tom Brady? So I think that's the interesting thing about it. And the other thing is, I just feel as though, this whole thing about Brady's getting older, Brady's losing a step. Listen, Brady is, till I see him lose a step physically, I ain't gonna call him done. I ain't gonna call him washed. I don't
know why everybody is so quick to write this guy off every year. But he feeds on, okay, you want to doubt me and see what happens. I've learned that over the years. You can't doubt him. Even if he's 50 years old playing in the league, he's still the GOAT.
Right.
I think he could play at least till 45.
I would agree with you.
The fact that he's playing in a warm weather division, Tampa Bay, oh my God, that's going to help his muscles, his joints.
We might get like at least 3 more years of him being.
That's a big part of it, and his TB12 diet and eating right and all that stuff. I mean, the guy's permanent.
You hear the story about his trainer going to his house at like 4 a.m. because he felt unaligned, and the trainer like cracks his knees and his hips. I'm like,
he's nuts.
Yo, what?
He's taking care of himself, though. I mean,
trainer sleeping on the other side of his house.
Yeah, like in a guest house. He's no joke. That's why they're going to the Super Bowl. I know people don't want to say it.
Ridiculous.
And listen, San Francisco they could make it too. They're going to be a tough out. But, TV.
I agree.
a Brady versus Jimmy G championship game.
That'll be fun. Thank you. Thank you.
See, never count out Brady. That's right.
Yep.
And I hate the guy, but listen, you can't count him out. The guy's
greatness is greatness in any form. You can hate him, I'm gooch, but he's great. So I can't call it.
But he's the greatest.
He is. So we all in agreement that Tampa's going to kill everybody in this division?
Yeah, what does everyone think about the NFC South? Give us predictions. Does anyone actually think the Saints have a shot? I mean,
they should just call this the NFC Bucks, bro. The NFC Bucks. This ain't even the South.
Look at the roster. Hold on, because I wrote it down. And I said some of it, but I mean, Brady, LaShawn McCoy, they got two LaShawn McCoy.
And don't be surprised if they either scoop up AB or Josh Gordon. I'm just
two on defense. JPP.
It's a joke. All right. They built a literal. It's like they went on Madden. They built the team and they put the team at 99. It was like, all right, I want to play.
Yeah.
NFC South food. They're all food. I agree with you. Come on, man. That's a joke. Damn, but I do feel bad for Drew Brees though. Like, damn, this could be my 1 year. Tampa's gonna be all right. I got Jameson on picks in the backfield. Nah.
This is his backup or third string.
Guys, Jameis should be the backup because to me, Taysom Hill ain't the quarterback. Taysom Hill, stop.
A bunch of different things.
Taysom Hill, you need to keep that boy as a receiver and running back punts because he ain't no quarterback.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But moving on.
Actually,
yeah, that was fun, man.
It was.
What happened?
Top 5 wide receivers.
Oh, this is Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice. I'm going Randy Moss.
Okay.
T.O.
All right.
Oh, that's a good one.
Bucks aren't playing New England this year.
If they did, that would be crazy.
Imagine if they did, that'd be insane.
Oh my god. All right. Reggie White.
Play each other.
Reggie Rice. Jesus, I can't speak. Ozzy. Randy Moss. Randy Moss. Chris Carter.
One of my favorites.
Michael Irvin.
Ooh.
And just for argumento's sake. For argumento's sake.
And what is everyone's all the viewers, what are your lists? Top 5 NFL wide receivers of all.
I'm gonna say Steve Smith of former Carolina Panther and Raven. Rice, Moss, Irvin, Carter. I need one more, Emilio. Oh, Rice, Moss, Irvin, T.O., Carter. Wow. All right. That's not bad. Big Dog, what's yours?
Jerry Rice, of course. Larry Fitzgerald. Randy Moss.
I forgot about Larry. How can I forget about Larry?
And Chris Carter.
Hold up. Hell froze over. Wayne Corbett is not on your list? This boy's growing up. He didn't put Wayne Corbett on this list. Hold up. Wait a minute. Help me, y'all. Help me. Hell has frozen over. This boy's growing up. He's learning. Okay? A New York Jet was not in his top 5.
Although,
Oh,
No,
oh.
the great Don Maynard, as Joe Beningo would say, is 13th all time touchdowns. Just
Come on, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it right with the hands and everything.
the great Don Maynard. The great Don Maynard. My Uncle Joe texted me his list. Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Larry Fitzgerald, T.O., and Steve Largent, famous Seahawk wide receiver. I like that.
Ooh.
Honorable mention, Calvin Johnson, which is interesting.
Ooh, Megatron. Wow.
Sterling Sharp.
Good list, Hayes. Good list. Good. I like this list. This is very good. I approve.
All these lists are good. Very good.
You're good. You're good.
To the baseball, you got a lot for us trade-wise. Some disappointing Mets news for me, but I mean, what else is new? What do you want to get into first? I'm leaving this up to you.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Well, all right, let's start with the Mets news first, so we can get the pain out. We can get the hard out of the hard part out of the way first. But I think Steve Cohen ends up buying the Mets. I think this does end up happening. I think Steve Cohen's the guy that buys them. But there was one little tidbit in the Athletic in the article that I read earlier today was that Alex Rodriguez was consulting with an investment firm that Jeff Luhnow, former Astros GM, used to work for. However, the article was very clear in specifying that Jeff Luhnow will not be the Mets' choice for GM. He will not be involved with the baseball operations at any point. A-Rod's just using him for like investment ideas and different things he could do to try to enhance his portfolio. So that's what that is about. It's not so much of him doing anything with the baseball ops department. But the interesting thing is Steve Cohen owns about, I think they said, I want to say maybe like 8 or 9% of the Mets. So if this is the case, and Steve Cohen does already own, he's already a minority owner.
That's a solid list.
Ooh,
Norman Harrison, wow, Julio Jones. Interesting.
Yeah, Julio's still putting in
He's
work.
still a beast.
Yeah. Julio, come to Cleveland. We can use you on them.
We need
Come to Cleveland.
Sam needs you.
But no, so I think Steve Cohen ends up getting this done because I think he actually has the capital to do it. But the interesting part about this is if Alex Rodriguez is able to pull this off, I don't know how this is going to look from a baseball standpoint. And this is the thing I wanted to get to. In the article, it stressed how Brody was going. He wants to be aggressive and he wants to, try to get the Mets in the playoffs and make a run for it with 30 games left. And he feels the responsibility to try and help push them towards the playoffs. But here's the thing. You're spending somebody else's money in essence because the Wilpons already closed the sale. And you don't even know if you're going to be there in less than 3 months.
Right.
So while the Wilpons are amenable to going for it, the gist of the article basically was that might hurt the new chances of ownership coming in and taking over just because they don't feel like they're taking on an added expense, which they don't feel is necessary for them to. So I think that plays a part in the Mets thinking as to, okay, do we really go out and get a Trevor Bauer to make a stretch run for it, who's only worth $2.65 million over now to the end of the year? Do we make a trade with the Reds? I don't know if they push it that far. There's other names that they would consider as well. Do we trade for Lance Lynn in Texas? Maybe, maybe not, depending on what the money looks like. But here's the thing. If this is going to hurt your chances for ownership to come in and want to look at your club, then if I'm the Mets, I just stand pat. I don't do nothing. I just fire Brody at the end of all of it. You know,
He
I
got
understand the will. Go ahead.
no. It's just
You got to go, right?
Brody got to go. And like I've said
Right.
before, they really should consider trading some huge players. But again, the Mets aren't going to do it.
Well, they're not. They're not going to trade huge players, especially with new ownership, because I'm sure new ownership wants to see Pete Alonso in a Met uniform. They want to see Jeff McNeil in the Met uniform.
Now,
They
if
want to see Jay.
if we can get talent to support Pete and DeGrom, and
Right.
I mean that would be huge.
Like, I'm going to say this. I like the Mets are, if they do this smart and new ownership closes this sale, and then you have a full winter to go through everything. Now, with the pandemic, your revenue is going to be a little bit different, and we'll leave that for another.
That's for all sports too. Yeah, it's gonna take.
We won't get into the financial ramifications of any of it, because that's getting in the weeds, and I don't really want to be here all day. But I will say it's.
Go ahead, because I got a question.
I will say that, Steve Cohen is definitely, whoever buys this team is going to want to look at his roster and go, okay, what do we really have?
Please not
let's assess this. And listen, if it is Alex Rodriguez, the first thing I would be looking for is how do you build your baseball ops department?
Right.
Because this is the thing that most teams are struggling with now, because half their staffs are being let go because of the pandemic. The Phillies laid off half their scouting staff, as no entry would know. The Yankees just laid off like 50 scouts and people in the department that do the stuff for the minor league. So these departments are being gutted across the sport. So I think it's interesting. I feel like baseball's changing because the pandemic is forcing them to change. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it allows for people to look at the sport differently. So I just hope, for your sake, that the Mets don't do something stupid. Don't do anything stupid. Don't make any wrong decisions. And Big Dog's looking at me like, do you know who you're talking about here? It's the Mets.
You know, it's a strong possibility, right? I mean,
it would be the Metsian thing for it to be to sail to be on the goal line, and then it all blows up in the fate. Yeah, it would be typical Mets. Like, we're close. We think we're done. We think, that would be the typical Met thing to happen. But I would say this. I feel bad for fan bases who. Oh no, they gutted like half their scouting staff. They fired like maybe like I think it was like 20, 30 people a couple weeks back. So their scouting staff is in tatters right now. Welcome, Ronald Bands.
Yes, welcome.
Welcome.
And now I know I say it as a Met fan all the time, and this is the way I really look at it. But again, it could be just because I'm a fan and whatever the case. But outside looking in, and you study baseball more than me. But legitimately, this team, and again, we don't know ownership yet and who's going to come in. But going forward, this team's window is closed, yes or no? And can this team still salvage the roster it has, the pitching staff it has, to possibly win in the next coming years? Or you think it should be rebuilt?
That's a hard question to ask, because is new ownership automatically going to come in and say we want to rebuild? Oh, we discuss everybody on the show, bro. This is not just New York. Like, especially with the Phillies. You just mentioned the Phillies.
Yeah.
Phillies offense ain't going nowhere. They signed JT Realmuto. That lineup for the foreseeable future is
we have a lot of Phillies fans actually that watch. So yeah, we talk a lot of Phillies and Philly sports teams. Yeah. We talk everybody.
It's his here's the hard part is if the Nationals find themselves and if they get starting pitching, if they find a way to keep this window open a little longer, then it's a tougher role for the Mets because look at it this way.
What's up, Skip?
T.O. Rice, Moss, Harrison.
Well, that's a
and
solid list.
Solid. I like that. Yeah, it's any way you go. It's the Mets are splitting. You're splitting the atom with them because you don't really know. Number one, how is Peter Alonso going to play as he ages? What are you going to get from Jacob deGrom as he ages? So it's a tough road to hoe, especially because give me that one more time. I didn't quite understand that comment, but yeah, it's tough. It really is. And so this is why if you're the Mets, if I'm the Mets, I don't even let Brody pick up a phone. Like, yo, you're not calling anybody else because you traded away. Look at what they traded away. Jared Kalinick, who's going to be a superstar in Seattle.
Yeah.
Everybody you see, everything you see on the dude, it's like, damn, the Mets had him. They traded away Justin Dunn, who is a solid pitcher for the Mariners right now, who's already in the big leagues. And you got rid of so many other quality pieces. And by the way, Marcus Stroman only made 11 starts.
Next Islander game is tomorrow at 3 in the afternoon. Early start, which I'm glad about. Get the stress out of the way early. We're going to get into hockey a little bit later on.
So he only made 11 starts. And when you gave up that kind of value for a guy that only made 11 starts, that's a bad look on your general manager. But yeah, the rest of baseball is in a very interesting spot because I think everybody's going through this. Boston with JD Martinez, the trades and the Bogarts, you know what I'm saying? It's tough. And then here's the thing. JD Martinez's contract, he has 2 years left on his contract. I think it's like $25 million a year. Between 23 and 25. So if I take that on, if I'm whoever I'm trading him to, that's in the middle of a pandemic when we're not really making money. Hard.
Who the Mets getting? Probably nobody, but you know. No, tell us. Are they in any real discussions?
They're in discussions for a couple of things. I know they talked about Lance Lynn as a starting option. That they talked about, trying to upgrade the bullpen. They're trying to revisit the Josh Hader thing, but I don't know if they have the prospects to do Josh Hader, even if they wanted to. And Milwaukee's not giving away Josh Hader. You'd have to give them the keys to the magical kingdom for them to part with Josh Hader. But the Mets are trying, but I don't know if it's a smart thing for them to try. I think right now the best thing to do is stand pat. Like the Pirates. The Pirates are. I know Gregory Polanco's name is in discussions, and Trevor Williams and a couple of their guys that they like a lot are in discussions. So Pittsburgh could be an interesting watch. But for me, the team of this trade deadline is the Toronto Blue Jays because they want pitching, but they also want to add to the offense. They talked about Andrelton Simmons from the Angels.
You're very high on them, and you think they have a bright future.
They do. You see that lineup? I'm going to have nightmares for like the next 15 years. Easy. Vladdy Jr., health permitting. Biggio, Bichette. Randall Grichuk is mashing right now. Yeah, I'm not. This ain't gonna be good for a long time. This ain't gonna be good. Yeah. So Toronto wants to make some moves, and there's other teams around baseball that want to do something to the Dodgers. The Dodgers are interesting because they can use a guy like Josh Hader, and they have
because they're always fascinating.
They're fascinating because they got the best record in baseball. They're 24-8 right now.
And a lot of people sleep on that.
They are literally annihilating everyone. Pandemic don't matter. Don't delay don't matter. This one don't matter. And the savage part is, if you extrapolate this over 162 games, they're winning 111 games.
Oh yeah, at least.
If you look at the stat, they're head and shoulders above everybody. Bellinger and Seager, and I'm like, yo, all right, are you kidding me? Like, what are you doing here? Like, what? No, but they want to add something to the back of the bullpen, or maybe some pitching. You know what? They're interesting for Trevor Bauer. If the Dodgers can get Trevor Bauer, if Cincinnati does trade him, because Cincinnati right now, they're my World Series pick, and they are looking not too good. If they add Trevor Bauer, or San Diego adds Trevor Bauer, listen, that's crazy. Yeah, but that's how these teams have to think right now. It's yeah. I the Dodgers are always super fast. And the Giants, they're wrecking the trade deadline again. Like everybody thought, the Giants, they'll trade Johnny Cueto, they'll trade Donovan Solano.
They're playing the Dodgers again tonight. Yo, they're gonna get wolfed.
Yo, yeah.
Horrific.
Yeah, like, yo, what are we doing here, man? I mean,
the question I dread to ask, because I can't stand you guys. What are the Yankees? Who the Yankees getting? What are they? What's Cashman doing? What magic is he working? Just give it to me to end this, because
I don't think they do much. I don't think they do much.
Sure?
I think
because you know how Cashman always pulls something, the rabbit out of his hat at like the last minute.
Well, I mean, am I expecting that? No. And here's why. Because they're already up against the luxury tax. So if they were to do anything, it'd have to be really small, which is why I could see them possibly doing Taijuan Walker from the Mariners, who I was texting Johnny Boy about earlier. I think that's realistic.
Okay.
I think maybe Lance Lynn, you try and revisit it with Texas, depending on what they want. I might try and bring that in, but I don't see them going after Frankie or going after that. Frankie's going to get dealt in the offseason. The two kids in Cleveland, Plesac and
you think they're going to rebuild mode, right? Cleveland?
Once they trade Frankie, yeah. Now you got to – once you trade Francisco Lindor, then all right, full-on rebuild.
They were just
break
in
it all up.
Series a few years ago, and now.
Right? How crazy time flies. We were talking about the Mets. Yo, you guys are just in the chip. You got the pitching for the next 100 years. You're going to be killing everybody. And now –
say we should trade two of the pitchers, but what are you going to do?
Right. Lynn is a beast right now. Yeah, but that's why Lance Lynn's going to be expensive. Lance Lynn's going to be expensive because the way he's right now, he's –
Who would you want the Yankees to get?
The whole world.
No, realistically, John, who would you want to trade and who would you want to get back?
That's a good question.
And for the Philly fans watching, because I know there's a couple, what do you want to see the Phillies do?
They got to add to that. If it was me, yeah, that's a great question. But if it was me, I would try and add to the rotation if I'm a Philly fan, because even though that bullpen is solid, it's still like I got to see it work itself out. So, I mean, we'll see.
You want to order something?
We'll see what comes of it. Hopefully, everybody is healthy and what we got. JT 3-run bomb. Listen, sign this man. I think, that's been a little hashtag for Philly fans all across the landscape of Philadelphia. If they do not sign JT Realmuto, there is going to be an APB put out for Matt Klimtek, for the Middleton ownership, John and Lou Middleton. If I'm telling y'all,
Yeah,
all
Mets.
right, you want Shane Bieber, which, like I said, he wants the whole world. Shane Bieber, but I love you, but that ain't happening.
Shane Bieber, what is he a pitcher? Could you
Yes, he's a pitcher
okay.
for the Cleveland Indians. That kid is
That's not realistic for the Yankees?
not at the prospect price Cleveland's gonna want. Cleveland's gonna want to listen, you start
What
if
would
you're
you
the
trade
Indians,
for him?
what would I trade for him?
Well, both of you guys are the Yankee fans. What would you trade? And John, who would you trade for him?
I know the first person they're gonna ask about is Gleyber Torres, and that's when I hang up the phone and go, nah, I'm out.
Brody should.
I'm out. Yeah, you
don't got enough for that.
listen, as great as Jacob deGrom is, I wouldn't give Jacob deGrom up for Gleyber Torres.
Now we can't use. What are we gonna use him for? Not like we're doing anything anyway.
I don't know. It's not gonna happen, but I want him. Yeah, I mean,
I hear you, Skip. You're a fan. I get it.
At least he knows it, though. At least.
Yeah.
Would I want Shane Bieber in a perfect world? Yes. Would I want Mike Clevenger in the perfect world? Hell yes. Zach Plesac is the third best pitcher amongst the three, right? And that kid is filthy. John can tell you, Zach Plesac is no joke. He's that guy. Oh, filthy. Filthy.
On to basketball. I'm gonna set this up. Lakers up 3-1.
Told you, Clinton, gotta go. That's a movement. Get Kayla on. She'll say the same thing.
Lakers up 3-1 against your Portland Trailblazers, your second favorite team. Are you calling the series a wrap, or do you still believe in the Trailblazers?
Nah, start shoveling it. Start shoveling in the dirt.
You done? You think you're done?
Nah, start shoveling in the dirt. It was a nice. And this was fun while it lasted, but got to go.
Are you ready to get James's phone number, or are you still hesitant?
No. I'm gonna call him. You as soon as we get off of here, you're gonna text me in.
I'll have to send it to you. All right.
We're gonna do this.
I'd love to be on that call just to hear it.
No, I'm gonna call him during the live stream. Yeah, no, that's a movement in Philadelphia. It's real. Ask Kayla. Ask any Philly fan. Ask Heidi. Cute, gigantic Philly fan, and they all say the same thing. Matt Klimtek gotta go.
I'm not getting nothing.
The Boston-Tampa game just started. See what happens with that.
But what do you got, man? What are your final thoughts? And anybody got any interesting comments?
Yeah, in terms of baseball, before we move on to the basketball playoffs, then we'll get to hockey. Any trades you want to see or think might happen in baseball, or how do you see this week going for the Mets and Yankees? Mets, I know, raining now, so they definitely won't. And that's interesting. They're supposed to have a doubleheader, but with the weather now, that's going to be interesting scheduling that.
I don't know how you get the doubleheader in. I can't see that.
There's no way where's my phone? I love baseball. We know you do, Skip.
I'm right here with you, man.
End the segment.
I'm right here with you, man. Oh, watch out for the Chicago Cubs.
Go Cubs, go.
Watch out for the Chicago Cubs. They're lurking in the shadows.
Man.
Grandpa Rossi, baby. That old man River.
Loved him when he played, man. He was a good player.
And you know how I feel about catchers being managers. Catchers being managers are like, it's just my thing. I love when catchers are managers. I think that No, they're killing everybody. They made my Cincinnati pick look like like
You
what are
still
you
have
doing?
hope with Tampa, although I think they'll, fall in the end. But
Oh, Tampa's no joke. All right, sleep on the Rays if you want to. Drive with Austin. What do you mean? Okay. Oh, you mean the trade that the Yankees made with them the other day? Yeah, they traded David Hale to Philadelphia for I think it was Austin. I forgot his first name, but yeah, I'm serious. That's a movement among like Philly fans are bitter right now. The Padres are
that
another
was your
interesting thing
pick.
too.
Yeah, John, that's right. You picked up
Right.
Padres Yankees World Series. That could happen too. They got to go through the Dodgers, but
Yeah, they
and
got to go through the
Cubs.
Dodgers. They got to go through the Cubs. I'm not
The
sleeping on
National
DC.
League is pretty interesting. We always thought the American League. I mean, it's really only who the Yankees, Astros, Rays,
Yankees. Oh, no. Yankees. Oakland.
Oakland too has
Oakland.
been good. That's right.
Rays. Astros. Oakland's the best team in baseball right now. Best team in baseball. Best team in the entire sport. Oakland. They're giving people the business. Yeah, they're like 21-6 or something like that. They lost like 6 games all year. But
1-0 Bruins.
Double dip, Tamara. Yeah, I know. I just saw it got postponed. Yo, the Yankees got 3 doubleheaders in the span of like the next 6 days.
Wow.
We got Atlanta tomorrow. The Mets on what? Friday and Sunday, double dip. And depending on what happens with this Marlins series, that's another doubleheader that they got to make up. Yeah, that's a lot of games and short amount of day. Yeah,
And like,
not good.
football, man, I don't know how they're gonna do it. That's gonna be
Yeah, I agree.
we'll see.
I agree. Well, these NBA playoffs are fairly simple. I want to see what Luka Doncic does tonight for encore after hitting the step back in Reggie Jackson's whole facial area. Just drilling the step back in his face.
Wow.
10 and 20, 20 and 10. Wow. Yeah. I
Mhm.
told you they red hot. Best team in the league. I'm rolling with the Clippers tonight. I'm rolling with the Clippers in 7. I think the Lakers dismiss the Trailblazers in 5. Dame's not playing tomorrow night. He was already ruled out.
You said he has a knee injury, right?
Yeah, knee sprain. So it's like we're gonna exit the bubble a little early. Gonna start on next year now. This Miami Milwaukee series.
Enticing.
That's how it would shake. That's how it would shake out. Miami and Milwaukee, and then Toronto would get Boston.
Ooh.
Woo!
Do you think Portland will be a threat to the Lakers next year, or they still got to build?
I don't know how much you could build because Dame is getting a lot of money. CJ's getting a lot of money. If I'm the Blazers, I think about blowing it up because you got Luka, you got the Warriors are gonna be.
I know you love him.
Old.
He is old.
But he's old. He's old in the tooth. Yeah, like now's the time you got to start thinking about blowing it up because you got Luka. The Lakers are gonna be here for at least a couple years. I really like Memphis. Oklahoma City is balling. Chris Paul, another old man River. By the way, that's going 7 games. That Oklahoma City Houston series. Chris Paul, yeah. Old man's like, okay, watch this.
It's kind of looking like in the West, though, it's going to be an all LA conference final.
It's looking like that, although, like I said, Luka Doncic is like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold up.
Do you think Miami could go on a run?
The Heat, they're interesting to me because they play defense like the Raptors do. They play that gritty, gutty, good defense. If everybody's all See, because I don't trust Milwaukee. I gotta be honest.
Wow, so
Yeah, I'm
it's
sad
raining in
about it.
Atlanta too, or are they in the Bronx?
Nah, it's pouring in Atlanta.
Mhm.
It's raining cats, dogs, and every other animal. It is pouring.
Yeah, John, I know you haven't had the Yankees for 4 days.
Yeah, he's going through withdrawals. He don't know what to do. He's like, help me. Um, nah, man, it's basketball is interesting from this standpoint. If we do get the All LA Conference Finals,
Wow, 1-1. Tampa just tied it.
I don't know, man. The way the Clippers are looking, the fact that you let the Mavericks take you to a game 5 and you didn't put your foot down and go up 3-1 with no Porzingis, who's not playing again tonight. Like if the Clippers don't win the next 2 games with no KP, this ain't good if you're a Clipper fan because you should be. No. We got. I was just telling Big Dog. I said we got to get James on the show. What was I just saying like 2 seconds
And
ago?
also, James, if it's all, I'm gonna send Stephen your number because he wants to personally call you. Also,
Nah, man. But come on the show. I'll be a man of my word and apologize because that's what we do. Yo, not for nothing. The Lakers looked pissed off last night, bro. They had that inner Mamba.
probably
They're
heard
like,
what you were saying. That's why, and they got mad.
cool, let's go with him. He said.
James, I sent him your number.
All right, so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna hold up the phone, right? I'm gonna hold it. I don't know if y'all can see this, but I'm gonna hold up the phone. He just sent me his number. So what that means is that we're gonna set this up. And James, I'm gonna, because I was wrong on this. So I'm gonna personally call you and apologize because the Lakers are like, oh, you thought we were. Okay, watch this.
Vincent,
Yeah, Anthony
was
Davis.
this for me?
Anthony Davis is different. Anthony Davis,
Oh, I got it. I got it.
he's in a different stratosphere right now. I mean, yeah, I think all these series are pretty much a wrap, other than um, the Houston Dallas series and the Oklahoma and the Clippers, the Houston Oklahoma City series and the Dallas Clippers series. If Dallas wins any of these next 2 games and it goes to a game 7, that's not good. That's not good. There's no
James, I know
Porzingis
you're
again.
waiting for that phone call.
But how long have you known me though? You know me well enough to know that
You're a man of
if
your
I
word.
needed to make, I'm gonna make that phone call.
You're a man of your word.
And just to be fair, I'm gonna be rooting against the Lakers this entire playoff. I'm gonna just let that be known off the bat. So whoever their next opponent is, I'm picking against them again.
Wow, drama in this hockey game.
They're about to. They're up 3-1.
Mm,
Blazers about to go. Blazers about to go night like a kid that had too much sugar.
Tampa goal disallowed because of offside. So 1-0 Boston. John Cool,
Whoa!
coach at Tampa, cursing, hollering at the ref. Pretty bad. I could read the lips. It's not good.
Oh, real quick before we finish with the basketball, I'll say this again. I know we said it at the start of Sunday's show, but yesterday was Mama Day. So if you're a fan of Kobe, if you grew up watching him and you
Oh,
loved
man.
watching him, Black Mamba, those jerseys yesterday were gooch. I might have to
That was
get one of
cool.
those
And
jerseys.
baseball players, the whole Dodger lineup wore them too, that was really cool. Bryce Harper wore one under his Phillies jersey.
I mean, I don't know about four calls, but
Oh, so after every series, he wants a phone call from you.
I don't know about all that. But I'll call you for this first one. But I It's really. Oh, did you see what? Did you see what Russell Westbrook did? He was on the sidelines watching the game. I think yesterday and had a Kobe jersey on, like on the sidelines, rocking a Kobe jersey. So
That's awesome.
yeah, man. I mean, Lakers, they came out with that inner Mamba. Yo, when they start a game 15-0 and the other team don't score till like 6 minutes left in the first quarter, you already know. Like,
That score you told me at halftime, I was like, what? I flipped. I was like, I couldn't believe it.
they finished the game with a $135,
That's insane.
and they could have had more if they kept starting lineup in the whole game.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Lakers, they oh yeah, you want to count us out? Watch this. Yeah. The score was 24-8 at the end of the first quarter.
That was
I'm
Kobe
like,
saying, yo, beat these guys.
because if I got to come back down here and smack all y'all and then go back up there, we going to have a problem. And I'm starting with you, LeBron, because you're the biggest.
Yeah, you know Kobe, he wouldn't have that. On his day, no way.
Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Charmin toilet paper thrown from the clouds. Like, y'all softer than Charmin. He starts, all you see is Charmin toilet paper just start streaming down on people. But let's get to this hockey, man.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? What are you seeing? How's this gonna shake out? Talk to me.
All right. So
Talk to us, actually.
We'll get to the big trade in a minute, but I'll just quickly we'll go over these series real quick. Let's start here with the one that's on right now. I'm just gonna say it. If Boston wins tonight, I could see this either ending in a sweep or 5 games. Listen, Tampa is a good team, but honestly, their power play hasn't been great, and the big reason why Stamkos is out injured.
Yeah, me too. When I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, it's a little eerie.
So that's a huge loss. And they got to match Boston, with the physicality and the scoring. Because if they don't do that, they're done. And they have the goaltending. We know what Vasilevsky could bring, especially in the postseason. But Boston right now, they just have this way about them of playing. They're no joke. They don't want to be messed with. So,
and that's without Tuukka.
Right. The lock was stellar. We were live tweeting right during the game the other night, and both of us.
We want to do that more, guys. If you want like live tweeting sessions where we're not streaming one night, but we want to you want to tweet with us watching the game, please do. Welcome, man. It's fun for us. We give you stats. We give you Big Dog let you know what's going on with the power plays. We get really in depth here.
Yeah, Boston. That game with Tampa, though, credit to them, almost came back. Remember they scored those 2 goals late, and we were like, "Oh my god!" Right. Because they were those last 5 minutes, they were, oh my god, pressure and shot after shot after shot. But Boston,
I think one hit the post. I was like,
yeah, but Halak, man, he came too big. Gotta say.
Your boy Yarrow.
Yeah, man.
All right, real quick. I need what happens in that Vegas Vancouver series. Is it over? Are we getting a sweep?
If Vegas wins tonight, call it a wrap. I just think last game watching it, Vegas is just way better. I mean, up and down the lineup. Goaltending, defense, forwards, power play, just they're 3 steps ahead of Vancouver. Listen, credit to Vancouver. They played amazing against St. Louis, blew them out actually in a couple of games. Know what they got to deviate away from trying to play physical, and I shouldn't say deviate from, I worded that wrong, but they're trying to piss off Vegas. But that's what Vegas does, and especially with guys like Ryan Reeves and Alex Tuch. They have a lot of big guys.
I saw him like clapping the stick at the bench when the dude was coming out of the penalty box. I was like, yo, that's savage. That's savage.
Yeah, like they're trying to like that's not their game. They gotta just stick to playing. Hold on, I gotta plug in the computer before dice. That would be funny. Imagine that would have been a but they gotta. They're a quick team. They're a fast team, and their goaltending is great. But I just think overall, the skill of Vegas is going to be too much for them and Leonard. They got to score, but Leonard's just been insane.
Vegas winning the cup?
I could see it. Vegas looks really, really awesome right now. And Jonathan Marchessault, he's...
See, that's a stupid question because his boys are still in it, so you really know who he think is winning the cup. I'm just saying,
Could I see Vegas winning the cup, though? I could see it. Yeah, but
I tell you this, I can see your boys getting to the conference finals, though.
I could see it too, but again, I'm not trying to get too far ahead. One game.
I'm not either, but they made Carter Hart look like an actual human being yesterday. Which
if they play like that, they could win the whole thing. And that's not like from a hockey fan watching that style of play wins you championships. I'm just saying. But again, one game at a time. But yeah, Vancouver, I just think they don't have enough to match with Vegas. That's really the issue. And I could say, well, they got to try and score and they got to, but it's very hard when you're going up against a team like that. Now, could they do it? They beat the defending champs. I'm not saying it's totally impossible, but you get annihilated 5-0. And it was just, Vegas just, they were toying with them. Like, oh yeah, you want to try and score? Yeah, you ain't scoring on us. Nope, you ain't, nope. The defense shut them down and the offense was rolling.
All right, so let me get something on this Colorado-Dallas series. What do you think, Phil? What do you think?
Your boy Landeskog, he's in trouble. You're up 2-0 last night. You let Dallas score 5 unanswered goals. They let up 5 goals again. That just goes to Grubauer being out of this series could end up being the reason why they lose. And
that's the death nail.
Originally, I thought this series was going 7 games, but Pavel Francouz, if he doesn't step up, and if the Rockies, if the Avalanche don't step up and score, you don't get scoring from McKinnon, you don't get scoring from Landeskog. If Kadri doesn't step up, you got a problem. And Dallas right now, Anton Khudobin, their backup goalie who took over for Ben Bishop, when he was unfit to play and everything, but he's been insanely good.
Yo, what a fun time it is to be in Dallas. You got the Mavs taking the Clippers to give them all they can handle. Your hockey team is doing work. Your football team,
they look good, but they're an accident waiting to happen, to quote Stephen A. But
the roster looks good though, and if you give Dak his money, place,
and you mentioned it yesterday there, if Dak's out after this year, could that be a place where Aaron Rodgers goes? You threw it out there. I'm just saying.
Just a thought.
And your boy, I know you're a big Pavelski fan, so am I. He's been scoring a lot in this series. Corey Perry. Listen, that was a huge pickup for them. Getting those 2 veterans, they won. Well, Pavelski was in a cup final. Perry did win one, but he's made deep playoff runs with the Ducks. And Pavelski, his history with San Jose and the post.
Right.
And Rick Bowness, his head coach, came in like mid-season. And the players respond to him well. They love him, and the coach loves them. And I think, gets the right message across, and they're following his lead. So Dallas is on a roll right now.
Right.
And go ahead.
It just feels like you got the 2 teams. You got Dallas Vegas, that's destined to be a clash of titans.
Conference final. That would be amazing.
And then if Boston and the Islanders get out of there, little.
I'm gonna say this: if the Islanders won, listen, if you beat Philly, awesome. Let's go Islanders, Skip. And this is no disrespect, Philly fans. Please, the Flyer fans, don't take this as disrespect because you guys have been awesome this whole year.
And that kid Carter Hart is no joke. He's no joke.
But to me, for the Islanders, because that's been a team we could just never beat. And again, the regular season's different, so I throw that out the window. But still, that's been a tough team. They are still, to me, like that upper echelon in that conference. Like the team, if you want to be the best in the East, you got to go through Boston. And again, Flyer fans don't, but that, in my opinion, as a hockey fan, that's the team you got to go through in the East. If you want to be the best Eastern Conference team, come this year's Stanley Cup final, you got to go through Boston. That's just me.
And we've been saying that all year. The both of us have. Like, not that I'm disrespecting what Philly's done, because
oh my God,
not unreal. But
listen, they can still make this series interesting. Now, to get to that series,
I still think this is going 7 games. Just because the Islanders won yesterday, that doesn't change my mind of the depth of this series. Because to me, it's like looking at the same teams. 2 very physical teams, 2 very skilled teams, 2 very well-coached teams that.
And we know about the goaltending. Both have been stellar. But again, with Carter Hart, like, he can only make so many saves. If you're Philly, you got to help him out. You got to score. Like,
Kayla said it the other night. The top line didn't show. When the top line doesn't show, you get results like you got the other night.
Right. And if they don't, that's a problem. And if the defense don't help, because they did not at all help Carter Hart yesterday. But credit to the Islanders, they found the spaces. They were
shooting like you've been yelling. Like
the Trot system is working. Each game that they win, you could see it. Chip and chase game. The blocks they made. Did you see the one or remember the save that the net was open? Varlamov was a little out of position, but Andy Green stuck out his skate and it hit off the blade and deflected wide. Like, it's little things like that on defense you got to do to help your goalie out. I mean, Varley still played awesome, but the Islanders got to continue to play that way and score. And you said it. I'll credit you. Lee came up big. He scored. I want to see more out of Barzal and Eberle because Eberle Bailey looked great again yesterday. The guy is...
He's hearing you call him a scrub. He's like, oh, yeah, watch this.
I'll keep doing it because then he just keeps playing amazing. But that's what they got to do. They need those guys to score, but they do need their stars as well. But listen, the fact that they're rolling all 4 lines is big. And if you're Philly, especially Claude Giroux, your boy, where's he been?
He's disappeared.
In this whole bubble series, I haven't seen him. You would think he wasn't on the roster.
Sometimes I don't even think he's on he's with the team. Like, he's in the locker room getting something to drink, getting his skate refixed.
Went to Tim Hortons, get a cup of coffee.
Are you even on the bench, bro? What's going on here? Like, I don't see you. I didn't see nothing from Gossespierre yesterday. I didn't see nothing from Voracek. I'm like, yo,
nobody's scoring.
This is not good. And if you're gonna leave it on the kid, as good as he's been, Carter Hart,
he has no playoff experience, so that's another thing where Varlamov does. So,
no disrespect to Ranger fans and Emilio, I love you, but it's like watching Hank reruns all over again. Nobody scores, nobody plays deep.
The Rangers they depended too much on Lundqvist, and look what happened. But let's get into this because this was a pretty big trade in hockey. Before we wrap up and end tonight, I just want to, of course, mention this. So, big trade. And I won't go through all the players that each team got, but basically, we need a better – yeah, you guys do need a better start. Are you going to be in trouble? Yeah, it's definitely an issue. And Lawton, too. Kayla mentioned him. That's right. The Torts years, yeah. When you watch the Rangers, Stephen, you were never a Torts guy either, right? And Emilio, did you like Torts as Rangers head coach or no? Yo, I
Couldn't
would
stand him, and you
like
know.
that guy. It's gotta be miserable.
By the way, he fined $25,000 for like saying 2 words in the press conference the other day.
Yes. So thank you for mentioning that. Per Frank Cervelli, today on Twitter, I was looking. NHL has fined John Tortorella $25,000 for his conduct in media availability after his team was eliminated by Tampa in Game 5. He walked away after 2 questions. Yeah. Oh! All right, Skip.
Damn, I guess the apple don't fall too far from the proverbial tree. Woo! No, but
me, you know.
Emilio's response to your question was
Hell no.
hell no.
Yeah, he wasn't. Vigneault was good for you guys. Eventually it didn't pan out, but for the time being, he was a good head coach for them, better than Torts to me anyway. But no, so Toronto trades Kasperi Kapanen and a couple of prospects to Pittsburgh, and they get back many prospects. One of them being Evan Rodriguez, who's I've heard very good prospect and could eventually be a 4th-line player for the Maple Leafs. And also a 2020 first-round pick, the 15th pick in the first round. That's
And
pretty
they had
solid.
13, but they traded that to
Right. That was in the Marlowe deal, yes.
Yeah,
When they
exactly.
traded Patrick Marlowe away. Wow, that seems like a lifetime ago. Last summer. But yeah,
Right.
Kasperi Kapanen,
when civilization still existed.
Yeah. But no, the Kasperi Kapanen's a solid player. And he's definitely a top 6. He's going to play with Malkin or Crosby, depending on which line Mike Sullivan will put him on next year. We'll see. But that's a solid pickup for Pittsburgh. And I think, honestly, who do you think won this trade? Because I'm going with Toronto. I think Toronto won this trade. Although I know you're still skeptical on Dubas.
I think they won the trade, but I got to see how he fits with the roster and what these players turn out to be.
And there's also questions because, again, I was listening to Hockey Central today, and there was talk of will Toronto make a bigger deal eventually? Will a goalie be dealt? Will Jim Rutherford trade more to Toronto? Which, speaking of Jim Rutherford, who's the GM in Pittsburgh, and I want put your GM cap on because I'm curious. And then I'll give you wow, Tampa scored. So Jim Rutherford said this, and I thought it was interesting. Now, we know Freddie Anderson had a solid playoffs, but they may want to move on from him. And Pittsburgh, from what I'm hearing, they might want to move away from a goalie. He says, quote, and this was on NHL Now today, on the NHL Network, there is already interest, and it looks like we're going to have to move one of them. We'll see how things unfold. But I plan on being pretty busy. Sounds like you. And there's a good chance goaltending will be involved in what we'll be doing. Now, there's Matt Murray, who's the usual starter, and Tristan Jarry, who's been a very, very solid backup. So the record, Matt Murray, 20 wins, 11 losses, 5 overtime losses. Tristan Jarry, 20 wins, 12 losses, 1 overtime loss. Goals against average. Murray's is 2.87. Jarry's is 2.43. A lot better. Save percentage, wow, this is telling. Murray, who, by the way, won a couple Stanley Cups with Pittsburgh, 899 save percentage, and Jarry's 921. And shutouts, Murray only had 1, Jarry had 3 in the bubble. All right. This is very interesting. The fact, because I still believe, and then I'll let you, of course, give you a little GM piece because I'm very curious what your thoughts on it are. But Pittsburgh, to me, I think they're still going to go for it, which I'm kind of surprised why they're trading one of these pieces away. But now looking at the stats and kind of, watching Pittsburgh this year, Murray has been pretty bad, and Jari has stepped up. So now maybe Rutherford may trade, let's say, Matt Murray away and then get somebody back, like a solid backup.
That's the obvious play, but I do the exact opposite.
You would trade Tristan Jari.
Yes. You know why? You trade the guy with the highest value, so your return is better. And if you never know, you can get a goalie in that little package. You can get a team willing to trade a younger goalie who Murray can mentor, and he could be younger, and you can kind of develop it that way.
Now, although Matt Murray is still in like his early 20s, like he's still a young guy, and so is Jari. But go ahead.
I think if you listen to the quote, you got to listen to what he's saying there. What he's basically saying is, listen, one of you guys are getting traded.
Yes.
It's just whoever comes to me with the best offer first.
Right.
Somebody got to go. So if you listen to that and you see where his head is, I don't think he has a preference either or. Now, what I would do, just because I'm thinking I want to make the most on my investment, is I'm trading the goalie that played better because I'm trading him at his higher value so I can get better value back for him. That's just smart business. That's just you realizing, okay, this is how I'm going to make my team better, not only for now, but for the future as well. Especially because Pittsburgh's aging. So, if you can definitely get some young life and infuse young life in there.
Right. Now, another question I'm going to throw at you, because this was interesting. And again, Elliot Friedman said it, and a lot of people on Hockey Central, they don't think it's going to happen. Brian Burke also on there. But, will Toronto make a deal, to get like a Tristan Jari and trade Freddie Anderson away? And that's an interesting concept. I don't know if that happens.
The only way you do that is if you throw Marla, Mitch Marner, or Nylander in the deal. Even it out money-wise.
Okay.
Trade some offense for defense. Get your goalie shored up.
And that was another thing. Now, no, because I'm trying to remember everything they said on the show, because it was really like, if you think that would be nuts. Nylander didn't come up, but let's say, because see, now this is interesting here, right? You throw Nylander in the mix and Tristan Jari. No. Yes, Freddie Anderson and Nylander to Pittsburgh. Let's say for Tristan Jari, and a name that was thrown out there was Chris Letang, who's probably the best defenseman or one of, has won 3 cups with them, still can play, older guy, but can mentor the young defenseman on Toronto, and you can add him with Jake Muzzin and Morgan Riley. That could be a really solid trade.
Chris Letang is going to play the same role that Nazem Kadri tried to play for them a couple years ago. I see Chris Letang playing Nazem Kadri's role in terms of that enforcer, the physical guy, the guy
right.
that...
And at least he's a defenseman, because unlike Kadri, he was an offensive guy. But I see your point.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of where we're at with this. And I tell you, man, I'm fascinated by... I got to throw something out there. I don't know if you're ready for this.
Just throw it at
me. For
me,
if you're Toronto, you got to subtract offense for defense.
Yes, you have to.
So Freddie Anderson, either Mitch Marner or Nylander got to go. Why I do that is because I believe Mitch Marner is not free enough in Toronto. There's not too much ice. There's not too much ice for him. Where Crosby and Malkin are unselfish, they're gonna get him the puck because they figure he a young boy. He gonna want to skate up and
they're
down.
good
He's gonna
speed
want to
guys.
get.
They are.
Yeah. So what it does is it puts the younger guys in a better position to excel. Because like, oh, this young boy got talent. We don't have to do everything. All we have to do is put him in position to be successful, and there we go.
If they do that and have a Freddie Anderson, Matt Murray tandem on the back end, that could be a real juggernaut in the East.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's why, you got to pay attention to how these GMs
and he's an
word these
old school
things.
guy. He's won a cup. He's been in the NHL for years, so he knows what he's doing. And he's won cups with Pittsburgh, with Carolina. He's been around.
The one thing I'm surprised by is that he came out flatly and said, "Yeah, one of our goalies are going to be involved." Because usually in NFL, they're very like secretive. They don't say
Yes.
anything. So the fact that you came out and said, "Wow, one of our goalies are going to be involved here. We don't know who yet, but we're trading one of them for sure." That kind of already lets you know that he's already working the phones. He's already doing his due diligence. He's already seeing what's out there.
Yeah.
In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he has already some deals already lined up.
We'll see what happens.
Because these GMs don't talk unless they know I got something ready to,
Absolutely.
rock and roll. But this was fun, guys. Big Dog, thank you for doing this again. Sorry, Big Dog lost power in the middle, but we're live, and that's what happens when
It
you're live.
didn't take long, though, to get me back on, so which I'm glad.
People lose power, but as the kids say, it's all good.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you soon.
Yes.
I don't know, maybe tomorrow, maybe not. I gotta talk to the Cole Stovian, see what he wants to do, but all right.
All right,
guys. Have a good night.
Later.